Here's some advice that women gave me before I got married and became a mother. And this advice came from women in my family. They gave me this advice because they wanted to warn me. They wanted to warn me about what they experienced in marriage and motherhood and prepare me so I didn't necessarily go through the same things that they went through. And I share this advice because there's this very common narrative right now that women just aren't made like they used to be. They don't like to cook and clean. They don't take care of their husbands. They're not loyal anymore. What happened to a loyal woman who was in it for the long haul, right? And there's this huge narrative that women have changed. And I think the missing piece of this conversation is that we've changed because other women warned us and prepared us for what to expect from marriage and relationships, from motherhood, and just from society as a whole. And so if you need to hear it, this is just a little bit of the advice or warnings that were given to me. My grandmother, she always said, you'll never clean a man's toilet. You can marry him, but you tell him, I will never clean your toilet. My mother, she told me to never rely on a man financially. No matter what I did, no matter what I wanted out of life, I needed to make sure that I could financially take care of myself and my children and never rely on a man. Okay? My mother-in-law told me well before I was married that I should never do my husband's laundry because if I did, I would learn to hate him. These are just little tidbits that were dropped along the way before I was a mother, before I was a wife, when I was in my teens and 20s, because they wanted to prepare me for what it was like. And this is the thing. So many men think women have learned about feminism and they've just changed. We've all just changed. But no, we haven't changed. The women who came before us have been trying to prepare us. They've been trying to set us up for a life that is very different than the one that they had because many of them didn't have access to divorce. They didn't have access to their own credit card. They didn't have access to these things. They weren't able to say, I'm not going to clean your toilet. They weren't able to say, I'm not going to fold your laundry. But we are. We're able to say that. And not only are we able to say it because we have come so far as a group, women in general, but because other women have prepared us. The women in our families have prepared us. The women in our families have advocated for us. They've educated us. They have warned us about what it's like. And they equipped us with the tools and the information we needed to have a different life than they had. And that's good. It's good. The problem is the men were not prepared. They were not prepared. And interestingly enough, they didn't hear from their own mothers or grandmothers that they shouldn't expect a wife who's going to clean their toilet or a wife who isn't going to fold their laundry. They weren't told that. And that was the missing key here. This is the missing component to this conversation. The women were prepared, the men were not.